Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's 7 o'clock now, so we will start our class with the starting prayer. Can I request the ST to give me an ID for the starting prayer?
Assalamu alaikum.
And 8329, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Can you recite the starting prayer for everyone?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Lord, expand my mind and make my task easy for me, and remove every impediment from my speech, that people may understand easily what I say.
Jazakillah and 8329. Can I now request the TA to go over the class etiquettes?
Assalamu alaikum. Before your lesson, please perform wuzu and cover your head and revise your lesson. Sit with an adult in a quiet room and keep your audio and video turned off. And please log in with your correct ID. And during the lesson, please listen attentively to the class and recite the verses alongside the online recitation. And do not raise your hand unless you are requested to. After the lesson, please revise your lesson and complete your assigned homework. And for contact, we've got info@nqc.org.uk. And please be reminded that these classes offer additional support to learning. They're not a replacement for one-to-one learning at home. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. So those of you who came early, you would know already that today we will be revising Surah 3. So first of all, I'm going to recite this surah, and then we will have some students to recite the same surah, and then we'll start listening to the hifz. So I would like to request all the students to recite after me. Jazakumullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين. أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. بلى وأنا على ذلك من الشاهدين. Alright, Jazakumullah. I hope that everyone was reciting along with me. Can I request TST now to give me an ID?
Yes. A7330.
A7330. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Can you recite the first 6 surahs, the first 6 verses of this surah?
Sorry?
Can you recite the first 6 verses of this
Okay.
surah? Start with Tawbas.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين.
Okay. Jazakallah, A7330. So, I will highlight a few mistakes in terms of pronunciation. So, first of all, in the last verse, which you recited, I've highlighted this word here. Do you know what mistake you made?
Where?
Do you know what rule you have to apply here?
No.
Okay. So, because we have meme mushaddad, on top of meme, we have this sign. We have to make nasal sound. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
thumma, and make sure that you do it for 2 seconds as you stress on the letter meme. Okay? So, can you recite this verse again? Can you recite verse 6 again?
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين.
Okay. Asfala. Don't prolong the lam. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. Jazakallah. In verse 5, make sure on we have madde saghir, the smaller one. And do you know how long you have to prolong this for?
2 seconds.
Okay, so you have to prolong it for a minimum of 3 seconds.
Okay.
Vertical fatha, you have to prolong it for a minimum of 2 seconds. Okay? So make sure you recite slowly and give it the time that it requires.
Okay.
Okay. Here I have highlighted noon sakin. Do you think you know what mistake you made?
Did I not pronounce it?
Okay, so Here you have to conceal the sound of noon. Okay? إعصان with a slight nasal sound, and the sound of noon is not clear. Okay? So it's called إخفاء. So can you recite this verse again?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. لقد خلقنا الإنسان
في
في أحسن تقويم.
Okay. Make sure تقويم to perform qalqala as well on harufe qalqala. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And the same goes here. خلقنا الإنسان. So on qaf, again we have to perform qalqala, and here we have to perform qalqala on dal. لقد. Okay? Here in the third verse, this letter ta, make sure to differentiate between the sound of ta and ta. Ta has a thick and heavy sound. Okay? So can you recite the third verse?
Okay. وطور سينين.
Okay. Jazakallah. So keep practicing and inshallah it will get better.
Can you ask him about hips?
Yes. Just a minute. So have you memorized the next?
Any surah,
Oh,
if he memorized.
okay. Have you memorized something new? A7330?
I think all I've done is up to Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
So previously, you have memorized and recited up to verse 7 of Surah Al-Ghashiyah?
Yeah. I
Have
think.
you done the next few verses?
No.
Okay. And what about any other surah?
No, I don't know any others.
Okay. That's fine. So can we have another student to finish this surah? And then we'll start listening to his.
A7338. Yes. He's unmuted.
A7338.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Can you recite the last few verses? Start with the verse.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين.
Okay. A7338. Yukazibuka. Don't prolong the ka for more than 1 second counter beat. Okay. And the same goes here. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Ain with the fatha stroke. Don't prolong it for more than 1 second. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Last verse.
أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين.
Okay. Jazakallah 7338. So, okay, let's start with this here. I've highlighted the word Allah. Do you know what do you have to do here?
You have to prolong it for 3 to 4 seconds.
No. So we have vertical fatha on lam, which means we have to only prolong it for 2 seconds.
Okay.
But the previous letter, sin, carries a fatha stroke. So we have to, the lam in the word Allah, we have to make a thick sound, a heavy sound for that. Okay? Alaysallahu. Right?
Alaysallah.
Okay, that was much better. And also, the letter ha, it comes from the middle of the throat. And we have to differentiate between this ha and, let me find an example, and this ha. Okay, this one, if we compare its sound to the English alphabets, it sounds like the letter H. Okay, but this one, it comes from the middle of the throat. بِأَحْكَمِ الْحَاكِمِينَ. Okay, can you recite the last verse and make sure to apply these rules?
Alaysallah bi'ahkamil hakimin.
Okay, Jazakallah. Here, as I mentioned to the previous students, on Jeem, Sakin, it's one of the letters of Qalqala where we have to make a jerking sound. Okay, so Ajrun. So make sure to do that as well. And here we have the letter Zal, and we have to differentiate between the sound of letter Zal and Za. Okay, they are similar sounding letters, but we must differentiate between their sounds. So can you recite this verse again? Verse 7.
Illallazina amanu wa amilus salihati falahum ajrun ghairum mamnun.
Okay, so keep practicing and it will get better. Once again, wa amilus salihat. Don't prolong the ain more than 1 second, okay? Jazakallah, 7338. So now I will start the breakout room. And so as I start the breakout room, I would like to request all the students, if you receive an invitation for the breakout room, please accept it and join the breakout room. And do not leave the breakout room until you are requested by the teacher. Okay. All right. Now I will also start listening to the hifs. So should we start with Asan 338?
Yes,
He
sure.
was on mic.
Yes.
So A7338.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. So previously you have completed Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah Al-Ala. Have you started memorizing any of the next surahs?
I think a bit of Al-Ghashiyah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Let me go to the surah. Okay, so it's on the screen. Do you know how many verses you have memorized?
5.
Okay. All right, that's fine. You can start reciting. Start with Tawbas.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ غاشية خاشية عاملات ناصبة تصلى
نارا.
حسن
Okay.
تصلى نارا حامية.
Okay. Jazakallah. Well done. So let's go back to the surah. Okay. So you have recited up to verse 5, which is very good. Try to memorize the next few verses as well after today's lesson. In terms of memorization, it was fine. You just started forgetting somewhere in verse 5. So keep revising so that you don't forget, and you will also become fluent if you recite it over and over again. Okay. So in verse 2, I have highlighted this letter. Do you know how this letter sounds like? What this letter sounds like?
So,
Okay, so it's sa, and it has a hissing sound. So if you touch the tip of your tongue with the upper front teeth, the sound is manifested. So hadithul ghashiyah, right? And it's also a similar sounding letter to the letter sin here. So therefore, we must differentiate between their sounds, okay? Otherwise, it will change or affect the meaning, okay? So can you recite this verse again? Okay. And make sure, غاشية, let the air escape from the mouth so that the sound of ha can be heard clearly, okay? In verse 3, instead of kha, you said agha. So I think you got confused because the second verse has the word ghashiyah. So make sure that you revise and get rid of this confusion, okay? So can you recite verse 3 again? وجوه
يومئذ خاشعة.
Okay. Don't prolong the ma. Okay. وجوه يومئذ خاشعة. Again, make sure that the sound of ha at the end is clear. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. So keep practicing these. If you can make a note of these mistakes and practice them, that will be really good. So Jazakallah is 7338. Can we have another student?
Yes, and 8346 Surah Al-Qadr.
And 8346. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Have you started memorizing Surah Al-Qadr?
I've already recited it to the teacher.
Okay, that's fine. So we can
Up to verse
recite
number
it
6.
again.
Up to verse
Okay.
number 6, she recite.
Okay. Yeah, so you have completed Surah Al-Qadr. We can just do a revision of the same Surah Al-Qadr. Okay, and at 346.
Yeah.
So let me tell you which verse to start reciting from.
Please ask her whole surah because Hifz is not good that time.
Okay. So you can recite the entire surah, okay?
Okay.
Start with Tawbas.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذنهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
Okay. Can you recite the last verse again?
سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
Okay. It's not hiya hatta ka. Let's go to the surah. So, see, it's just hiya hatta matla' al-fajr. Okay? So, in terms of memorization, you made this mistake. So, make sure that you correct it. And in terms of pronunciation, in the very first verse, so I have highlighted Noon Mushaddad. Do you know what you have to do here?
Like prolong it.
Yeah, so you have to prolong it because it carries Madde Saghir. And do you know how long you have to prolong it for?
Is it like 2 to 4 seconds?
Okay, it's a minimum of 3 seconds. But at the moment, the mistake which you made was the noon. You have to make nasal sound. Okay? Gunna. So, inna. Okay? So, can you recite this verse again?
Okay. Illa.
Inna. Can you complete the verse?
Okay. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr.
Okay. So that was much better, the nasal sound. But another mistake here, Noon Sakin. Do you know what mistake you made here?
No.
Okay, so here on Noon Sakin, as I mentioned to the previous students, you have to conceal the sound of Noon Sakin here. Okay? So you have to perform the rule of ikhfa. Instead of anzalna, which is where the sound of noon is clear, you have to conceal it. Anzalnahu. So you can't hear the sound of noon properly, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do. So can you recite the verse again and be mindful of both these rules, okay?
Okay. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr.
Okay, that was much better. Again, so make sure that you recite slowly. All these letters which I'm highlighting, they carry the Madde Saghir, so you have to prolong it for 3 seconds minimum, okay? Yo was a little bit short. I think you are ill as well, so it could be because of that, but make sure that you try your best, okay?
Okay.
To prolong it for the required time. Okay, can you recite verse 5 again?
Okay. Tanazzalul malaikatu
Varruhu.
والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر.
Okay. All right, so that was much better. You prolonged it really nicely, but you made some other mistakes, which I have highlighted. So first of all, here, bi-izni, we have the letter zal, and it has a vibrating sound, right? And it sounds different from this letter za. Okay? za, zal. That's the difference, okay? There's a vibrating sound in the letter zal. And the second one, again, which I mentioned in the second verse as well. Can you tell me what you have to do here? I mentioned it here as well.
Have to make a nasal sound.
Okay. Not that one. So on inna, you have to make nasal sound. The second noon sakin, you have to conceal the sound of noon. Okay? Min kulli amr. Okay? So keep practicing and inshallah it will get better. Can we have the next student?
Yes. A7333.
A7333. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, I am good. And A7333, previously you have memorized and recited some surahs completely. Have you memorized Surah Teen? A7333? Okay, there is no response.
Okay.
I'll see if I can unmute.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we can't unmute A7333. Let's try to have another student.
Sure. A7340.
A7340.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So A7340, previously you have memorized and recited Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Ala, and Surah Shams completely. Have you started memorizing any of the other surahs?
Surah Al-Ghashiyah. I'm not that confident on it though, right now.
Okay. Do you know how many verses you have memorized?
I know about 3.
Okay. Let's go to the surah. Okay. So you can start with Tawbas.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية. That's roughly what I know.
Okay. Hamiyah.
Oh, حامية. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was up to verse 5. So first of all, in terms of memorization, it was all good. But pronunciation, I will highlight a few mistakes. So first of all, in A'udhu Billah, Minash Shaitanir Rajim, the letter Ta, it has a thick and heavy sound, right? But you said Ta, so you confused it with the letter Ta, okay? So make sure you differentiate between their sounds, although they are similar sounding letters. Okay. In the actual verses, in verse 2, as I mentioned to the previous students, this ha the sound comes from the middle of the throat. Okay? And this, okay, the other ha, this one, it comes from the top. Okay? Ha, ha. Can you hear the difference in the sound?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that you differentiate between their sound, okay? Otherwise it affects the meaning. So can you recite the first verse?
هل أتاك حديث الغاشية.
Okay, that was much better. Another mistake. I mentioned this to the previous student as well. This letter has a similar sound to the letter seen, but again, we have to differentiate between the sound. So let's see if you were listening carefully. Do you know how this letter sounds?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how to make the sound? I mentioned it to the previous student.
Yeah, you put your you have to do like a thul.
Okay, so it has a hissing sound,
Yeah.
which comes if the tip of the tongue touches the upper front teeth. Okay? And when the air escapes, the sound is manifested. So hadithul ghashiyah. So be mindful. There are a lot of rules which you have to apply in every verse, and you have to apply all of them together one by one. And sometimes it's hard, but it gets better with practice. Okay, one of the other mistakes you made was on this letter, Sod. Do you know what was your mistake?
Oh, was I doing the hissing sound on this?
No, not hissing sound. So this one, again, it has a similar sound to the letter seen, but they are different letters and they sound different as well. So the letter Sod, it has a thick and heavy sound. Okay?
Yep.
Do you understand? So can you recite verse 5 and make sure to make a thick sound for Sod?
تصلى نارا حامية.
Okay. تصلى نارا حامية. Okay, so
Okay.
keep practicing and it
Do you have to
will...
do kalkala on the letter?
No, not kalkala. You have to make a thick sound for Sod. Okay?
Okay.
Differentiate it from the sound of seen. Okay, that's all
Okay.
you have to do. So keep practicing and it should get better. Jazakallah A7333. Have you...
No, A7340.
Oh, okay. A7340. Have you memorized any of the other surahs?
No, not yet. I'm just working on Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakallah A7340.
Jazakallah.
Can we have the next student?
N8334.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And 8334.
Yes.
Okay.
Surah Al-Ghashiyah up to verse number 14.
Okay. And 8334. Previously, you have memorized and recited up to verse 14 of Surah Al-Ghashiyah. Have
Yes.
you memorized the next few verses?
I've learnt 2 more.
Okay. So if you can start reciting from verse 10,
Okay.
it's on the screen, and go all the way up to where you have memorized. Okay?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لسعيها را- لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع لاغية
Okay.
فيها عين.
And 8334,
Yes.
you forgot one word. So can you recite from La Tasma'u again?
لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة
Can you recite from Wa'akwabum again?
وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة. That's all I know.
Okay, that was up to verse 16.
Yes.
Can I ask you to recite from Wa'akwabun again, one last time?
وأكواب موضوعة.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Let me go back to the surah. So in terms of memorization, it was good. You just forgot this one word when you were reciting it the first time. So make sure that you keep revising over and over again so that you don't forget anything. In terms of pronunciation, in verse 11, okay, so I have highlighted this letter, Noon Mushaddad. Do you know what rule you have to apply here?
You have to prolong it for 2 seconds.
Okay, so because we have to stress on the letter Noon, we can prolong it, but it is Noon Mushaddad, so we also have to make nasal sound.
Okay.
Okay, so fi jannatin aliyah. Can you recite?
في جنة عالية.
Okay. Aliyah. Make sure the sound of ha is very clear at the end.
عالية.
All right. Jazakillah. In verse 15, again, most of these verses end with the letter ha, and the sound of ha wasn't clear in any of them. So be very careful and pay attention to the end of the verse and make a clear ha sound at the end, okay?
Okay.
In verse 10 and 11, so I have highlighted this letter. It's the same letter. Do you know what mistake you made here?
I didn't make the proper sound.
Yes, that's right. So again, it's a similar sounding letter, but in order to make the right sound, the sound for this letter comes from the middle of the throat. Okay?
Okay.
So, لِسَعْيِهَا رَاضِيَةٌ. Okay?
Okay.
So can you recite verse 11 again?
Okay.
Make sure to apply both rules, which I have highlighted.
في جنة عالية.
Okay, again, the sound of ha isn't clear. Can you recite the verse again?
في جنة عالية.
Okay, that was much better. Well done. So keep practicing, and inshallah, it will get even better.
Okay.
Jazakillah, and it's 334.
Jazakallah.
Can we have the next student?
Yes, N8348.
and 8348.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So previously you have memorized. Okay, previously you have memorized and recited up to
Surah
okay,
Al-A'la up to verse number 11.
yes. Can you please make sure that it's really quiet and it's 348?
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Is
Okay.
that better?
Yeah. So there's still a lot of noise coming from behind.
I don't think that's me.
Okay.
No, no one else.
Yeah, there's
Assalamu alaikum. She wants to say we are quite sitting here over here. No one is making noise.
okay. I think it could be because of the microphone moving, maybe.
Okay.
So make sure that nothing is moving around. Jazakallah. So previously you have memorized and recited up to verse 11 of Surah Al-A'la.
Yes.
Have you memorized the next few verses?
No, not yet.
Okay. And you have also recited up to verse 7. Up to verse 7 of Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
Yes.
Have you memorized the next few verses?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's fine. Have you any of the short surahs that we taught at the end? Do you know any of those?
I don't know any of that.
Okay, that's fine. So what we can do is go over the next few verses. You can recite them from the screen and then try to memorize them tonight, okay?
Okay.
So Surah Al-A'la, you have recited up to verse 11. So if you can start reciting from verse 11 and go all the way up to verse 13. Okay?
Should I start from Sayazakkaru?
Yeah.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سيذكر من يخشى.
Okay. Sayazakkaru.
Okay. سيذكر من يخشى.
Okay, again. It's a very common mistake. A lot of students make it. On the letter Zal, we have Shad, so we have to stress on it. Imagine that there are two Zal next to each other. Sayazakkaru. Okay?
Okay.
Recite it with me. Sayazakkaru.
Sayazakkaru.
Okay, that was much better. Continue.
Where should I start from, please?
You can start from the same verse.
Okay. سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى.
The sound of qa is thick and heavy. Okay?
Okay.
So, can you recite that again?
Yes. ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى.
Kubra. Make sure the sound of kaf here is not thick. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Jazakillah and 8348.
Jazakallah.
Also here, you made a little a little bit of nasal sound, but make sure that you make it for 2 seconds. Okay? So
Okay.
yaslan narul kubra, and the letter ra is also thick.
Okay.
Jazakillah, I need 3 for it.
Jazakallah.
Can we have the next student?
A7333. Ask him about
Yeah.
Surah Al-Qadr. He recited before, but repeat it, please.
Okay. A7333.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Previously, you have memorized and recited Surah Al-Qadr, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we will just, you can recite it again for revision, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والقدر.
Okay, it starts with inna.
إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير
You missed one verse.
وما
Yes.
Wait.
Vama.
وما إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما قدر ليلة القدر
Okay.
ما أدراك ما ليلة القدر
Laylatul.
القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة
Katu.
والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
Okay, Jazakallah, 7333. Let's go back to the surah. First of all, in A'udhu Billah, can you recite A'udhu Billah again?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Okay. Minash shaitan. The letter ta, it has thick sound. So make sure to try and pronounce that correctly.
Okay.
Let's go back to. Okay, so here, in terms of pronunciation, you made some mistakes, and also in terms of memorization. So, in the first verse, we have Laylatil Qadr. Okay, and then in the following verses, we have Laylatul Qadr. But you were getting confused between these, okay, continuously. So make sure that you are very clear about this, that the first verse, the letter ta is carrying a kasra stroke, and in the following 2 verses, the letter ta is carrying dhamma stroke, okay?
Okay.
So don't get confused about that. And also in the second verse, unknown sakin, I've mentioned this to the previous students as well. So let's see if you know what rule you have to apply here.
Wait, what?
Do you know what rule you have to apply here on nun sakin?
Wait,
Okay, here I mentioned to the previous students as well. Sorry?
is it itlab?
No, not iqlab. Here we have to perform ikhfa, which is to conceal the sound of noon sakin. Okay?
Okay.
Do you know how to do that?
Yes.
Okay, so can you please recite the first, this verse?
إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر.
Okay, that was much better. Make sure qadr, the letter dal, it's sakin, and it shouldn't sound like it is carrying a fatha stroke, okay? Qadr.
Okay.
All right. After that, in verse 5, you said malaikati. So again, make sure that you know which stroke it's carrying, a dhamma stroke, but you pronounced it as if it had a kasra stroke. So again, don't get confused between this. When you're revising, have a copy of the surah or Quran in front of you and look at each letter and stroke carefully, okay, as you revise.
Okay.
Okay. And lastly, in verse 6, on top of the letter ta, we have vertical fatha. So make sure that you prolong it for a minimum of 2 seconds. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Jazakallah is 7333. So now we are going to move towards the conclusion of our class. So the homework for today is chapter 95, Surah 3. If you have not memorized this surah yet, please try and memorize.
Excuse me. Can you
Yes.
first finish the breakout room?
Yeah, the breakout room was closed.
Okay.
I'll check if the students and the teacher is back. Okay, so now they are back.
Okay.
Okay, so the homework for today is chapter 95, Surah 3. If you haven't memorized this, please try to memorize some of the verses. And if you have already completed this surah, then keep revising it. Also, as we have already covered the entire syllabus, so make sure that you try to memorize chapter 1, chapter 87, chapter 88, chapter 91, chapter 93, chapter 94, chapter 95, and chapter 97. So there are 8 chapters in total. And if you haven't memorized them, try to memorize them. And some of you have already memorized all of these, so keep revising them. Jazakumullah. Can we now have a student for the ending prayer?
Yes, A7326.
A7326. A7326. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, maybe we can have another student.
Okay, sure. A7351.
A7351.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Can you recite the ending prayer for everyone?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم. Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran. وَاجْعَلْهُ لِي إِمَامًا وَنُورًا وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً, and make it me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
All right. Jazakumullah to everyone for attending today's class. With this, we are going to end our today's class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.